Bar Group, raising the bar in real estate. Your Lake Highlands, Lakewood, Preston Hollow pros. You can find them at thebargroup.com. Unparalleled customer service for your real estate needs. The Bar Group. All right, let's do this.
Coming through.
Test run. Oh man, I'm such a test run, my man, test run. Just remember that. Welcome to the show. My name is Curtis Reese. I am your host. This is the Pickleball Show, and we have a YouTube channel. And please subscribe to it, the Pickleball Show with Curtis Reese. Tell us what you like. Tell us what you don't like. Tell us what you'd like to hear. We got a lot of good things today. And speaking of good things, my good man here, Mr. Jeremy Puckett from McKinney, Texas, is on. Jeremy, talk to us. What's up?
Good, man. How are you doing today?
Good. Doing good.
Yeah. So, Jeremy Puckett.
Uh-huh.
I am.
Where do you teach at, bro?
Yeah, I teach at Stonebridge HOA here in McKinney. I've been teaching over there about 3.5 years.
Yeah.
I've been playing pickleball about 6.5.
There we go.
Just loving it.
So sweet. So, how does this sound? So, the cool story about this guy that I loved is that we get emails. We're fortunate enough to get emails, and some are cool, some are awesome, some are really bad, but whatever. But this one I got was neither nor. Is in a whole new category. I got a nice email that was very curt and to the point, and saying, if you'd like to talk about pickleball, I like this. I got to get this guy on the show. He's basically saying, I'm coming on your show, and you're gonna let me, okay? So David, tell us what the way of pickleball. Tell us what, when, where, why pickleball for you.
Yeah. So when I fell into the sport, I was kind of coming right out of soccer. I was 40 years old, and
That makes sense.
yeah, kind of accidentally discovered the courts at our HOA and looked it up on the internet, and I was like, oh, this is an actual sport. So I'd played tennis growing up, played high school, some league tennis after that. I grew up in a very small market, Lake Charles, Louisiana, so wasn't a lot of tennis coaching going on there. So I was I got very good at watching professional players on TV and then emulating that as I played. So I worked at a country club in college and did
Which country club was that?
Skyline Country Club in Mobile, Alabama.
Nice, dude.
So, yeah.
Cool.
They had a lot of clay courts there, so played a lot there. But soccer was really like my passion growing up. Played competitively till I was 40.
Wow.
Had actually got into coaching at an early age when I was really in my teens. Even.
Soccer, right?
Yep.
Wow.
Coached soccer for about 20 years. I have my own competitive youth club there.
I saw that in your note. I should have put in your bio. I'm sorry.
So did that quite a bit, and so it was kind of like a natural transition for me to start coaching pickleball as I came out of the soccer side. So that's been a great thing. I love coaching adults.
Yeah.
It's
The
very
big kids.
different than kids, that don't always want to be out on the court. Adults for pickleball in particular definitely want to be out there.
Yeah.
So that's always it's always been really fun. So
Well, so I'll tell you this. So our next question would be when you play or what's your favorite type of paddle? What's your favorite brand you wear? Is there anything you want to put a shout out to? What do you play with, basically?
yeah, so I've been playing with Gearbox for about 2.5 years now. I do have a sponsorship through them, and
Good.
They're a great company. I've met the owner multiple times. He gets down to McKinney a decent
What's
amount.
his name?
Raphael Filippini.
There you go.
He's out of California, but he's good friends with Richard Eisman, who's a guy I've played with quite a bit, pickleball with here, and they're a great company, kind of on the forefront of like technology in the sport, and really enjoyed playing with their equipment. I get the opportunity to try a lot of equipment.
Yeah.
One of my buddies is Barrett Kinchelow, who's one of the top YouTube creators of the sport, and he lives right next door to me. Yep.
All right, he might be your best friend of the show now. You know that, right? He's gonna be your best friend of the show.
Throw it out there, but he gets he obviously gets a lot of paddles in to try, and we go out and test them out. But I always go back to Gearbox. They've been really good.
Yeah. You gotta go with what you know.
Yeah.
Is Gearbox similar to like a lot of our guests? Less similar to yourself. They're in the industry and they are entrenched, either playing or coaching or teaching or both, or they just have a product. They've said that a lot of these companies like Selkirk, there's Jula, all of them, that they have a real fun, like family type environment.
Yep.
And is that similar to Gearbox?
Yeah, they're customer service and their players and everything, or their personnel that kind of help with the players that are sponsored are awesome.
That's great.
I mean, great people to work with. Raphael's he goes to a lot of the tournaments personally.
Wow.
And he's very much he's actually he's an engineer, so he knows he builds a lot of the technology and that sort of thing. So he's very interesting to talk to and at these tournaments, and he'll show you the difference between the paddles and why theirs are superior in a lot of ways. So so I've always enjoyed being around there.
Jula. All right. And again, we're speaking with Mr. Jeremy Puckett from McKinney, Texas. At Stonebridge HOA. Say, what's it called again? I'm sorry. Go again.
Yeah, the Stonebridge HOA. Yep.
Okay. Just want to make sure. That's great. And that's up there in McKinney, which is about,
30 minutes from
30 minutes from Dallas. Yeah, it's pretty close to us here. So when you play now, do you like singles, doubles, mixed doubles, or just kind of explain each and how you view them?
Yeah, so when I started playing, I actually started in singles. My son and I were out there because I didn't really know anybody else that played at that time. I kind of got in, so I played a lot of singles earlier on. It was very obviously a closer translation from tennis. Got pretty good at singles, but then really got into doubles and fell in love with that. So I would say men's doubles is my favorite.
Oh, wow.
Mixed is have found challenging, particularly because back when I first started playing, there was probably 4 females in DFW that were at a 4.0 level or above.
You want to name drop? They're probably still playing.
Melissa Pedroza, Helen Wilhelm, Courtney Johnson, Cindy Johnson. There's a few of these. There was so few of them, and they were already locked up with like the best players.
Yeah, exactly.
Right? So I played with a lot of like 60-plus-year-old females
wow.
because that was all. I mean, that's all you could find. So,
hey, that's fine.
So it's just been more challenging to find partners in that. But Holly Spence is somebody that I've played with a good bit. We've won the Mid-South Regional and some other big tournaments. So
wow, okay.
She's been a great partner to have too. So.
Yeah. Is Holly Spence here in Dallas area?
She lives in Flower Mound. Okay. So she plays a lot with us up at like Finch Park and McKinney, and plays at Louisville and stuff like that a lot too. So
okay.
Yeah.
Well, cool. Well, we're again here, Jeremy Puckett. Of all your endeavors in the sport so far, and there's probably been a lot, and there'll be a lot more, right? Like we both understand as we progress in this. What is your favorite memory? Well, what's your favorite story?
Good one. So I would say. So the Texas Open was really one of the first, I would say, major tournaments outside of like the U.S. Open that we have for pickleball and nationals, right? So that when that started up in 2018, I played in that one, but the second year in 2019 is when they really started to get a lot of the pros to come. And I remember playing singles. It was super hot. It was like Labor Day weekend.
Wow.
And it was probably, the temps were definitely right at the 100 mark. Started singles. Our brackets started at 1 o'clock. So imagine, it was crazy hot. This was out at Wagon Wheel.
Oh my God.
Made it. I played 5 matches that day in singles, made it all the way to the final. And at that time they had the 3 dedicated courts at Wagon Wheel. They had the pros playing right next to us. There was no separation between the courts. So I had Tyson McGuffin and Ben Johnson, these guys playing right next to me, and I'm playing, 4-0 singles, final against oh my gosh, I'm drawing a blank on his name. I'll think of it in a minute. But
Ben Johnson?
No.
Matt Wright?
So and we had a crowd of 200 to 300 people there watching. It was just incredible.
Watching you guys?
Well, I mean, we were
awesome.
right next to the pros were there too. So you had a big VIP tent right behind there. So that was a really cool experience. But
they came there and listened. Here's what happened. He's just being modest. He's kicking everybody's ass. And what happened was they were watching him, and then they were getting bored. They started watching this guy. You know what I mean? So let's be honest here.
It was Dutch Phillips and I were the 2 that were playing.
Dutch was in the
I know you know Dutch.
Oh,
so,
yeah.
So we had a great match there. Went 3 games, and
that's great.
It was fun. So that was probably one of the better ones. But just seeing a lot of my students progress too. I think that's been one of my favorite things in the sport. Is just whether it's a youth player or an adult. I've had a lady that's been with me a little over a year. Just seeing her progression over that time has been incredible.
Pretty good, huh?
Yeah, it's super rewarding as a coach.
So you said something about juniors. I'm interested about that because I haven't really found somebody that can do it, has time to do it, or is really pushing it yet. And that's not to say they're not out there. There's a lot out there. I'm just your first to come on. So what's the junior part of it like in pickleball?
Yeah, so there's a lot of discussion around that in the sport right now. And the challenging thing is, and I kind of saw this coming from soccer, is that it's hard to convince parents to invest in pickleball development for juniors when you're competing against all these other sports that a lot of these kids are already in.
I never even thought about that. That's wild. That's so cool.
That part's a little tough, but I do have a couple. Like I've got a 10-year-old kid that I coach regularly. He's amazing. He's grown a lot in the sport. Elliot Rouse is his name.
Oh wow.
You'll see him.
Mm-hmm.
He plays a lot at Finch up there in McKinney, but he's getting into tournaments a lot. But we've got Melissa Petroza does a lot of that out at Oasis.
She's great.
Too,
I've had her on. That's right. Yeah,
with her group. But it's that's the part. Once we start seeing it more in colleges,
we will, right?
Which it's already happening.
Yeah.
You'll start to see more of that junior development get bigger.
Yeah.
But that's the part right now is just helping them understand it's worth it.
Yeah.
And we already have examples of teens and other youth players that are doing exceptionally well in the sport, and making a lot of money.
Yeah.
So I mean, the proof is there. It's just convincing the parents of it.
Yep. So the junior part is pretty cool. But like you said, tennis is probably going to be going. I think college tennis is a sport, is a club now. Not it's still scholarship, but I think it's leading towards more of a club type thing, which is cool. There's always advantages, but I think pickleball. Pickleball is going to be like Matt Hampton came on a few months back, and he does Grand Canyon University (GCU). He started that there a while back. So, well, cool, man. So let's move right on. So, who is your favorite player right now, male or female?
I'd have to say. I mean, I know it's cliche to say Ben Johns is number one.
No, it's not.
But he is. I mean, and the thing I like about him is that his game IQ is so much higher than every other player out there.
Wow.
And it's his ability to just adjust mid-game and not be rattled. He has nerves of steel. I mean, all those things you'd want in a top-level player, he has those weapons, right? And he's continues to develop new shots. We see him every tournament almost. He's bringing out something new.
Yeah.
So it's just that I admire that a lot because I try myself as a coach and a player to be inventive.
Yes.
Right, or innovative in whether that's different types of shots or different strategies and things like that. So, to me, I just admire that in a player in general.
That's good. To create an opportunity when they're all much. That's
Yep.
So let's talk about your favorite tip. What's your favorite tip?
Okay, so I'll break it out into beginners and maybe advanced.
There you
players.
go. Sure, it's your story.
So for beginner to intermediate players, I think the biggest thing is to get very proficient at the first 3 shots in the game. So serve, return, and then that what we call kind of that third shot.
Mm-hmm.
So we have even I see this up to like 4.0 and 4.5 level players that are not great. They may be good at some of those things, but they're not great at them.
Yeah.
And those are typically the easiest shots to practice the most because we have the most repetition at them, right?
Yeah.
So I think that would be for beginners. Advanced players, I would say footwork.
Yeah.
So for me, like I bring a lot of things over from soccer in my coaching, where I use a lot of like ladder agility type of things that I use. Other stuff I've brought from tennis too, but the soccer piece I think adds another element to it, and just being exceptional at the kind of that fast twitch movement, direction change, that sort of thing. So just getting better at footwork, and I would say strength training is another thing that I'm a big proponent of. Just as we get, particularly as you're getting older, you don't want to be injured. You don't want to be do all these things. So
it's just simple. You got to work smarter, not harder, man.
Yes, absolutely.
And that involves this. But it's interesting what you said about footwork. That's so true, because that there's always 4 things you want to attempt to do when you strike a ball, catch a ball, throw a ball, whatever. Is no emotional, add a score, technical, which is how to catch the ball, tactics, which is where, when, and then fitness. I mean movement.
Right.
And movement is very key, because I believe the split step's the most important part of it all, because that is what, if you can do,
allows you to direction change.
Exactly. It sets you up to go wherever you want and reset, right?
Yes.
That's the most important part about that.
Yeah, it's kind of the foundation of everything. I mean, when I watch video review of players, or I go back and watch a player, I'm analyzing their play, typically the first thing that breaks down when they're missing shots is footwork. Almost every time. So.
Yep. Just get nervous and they probably overrun it.
Yep.
All right. So this is the fun one. We get some requests for this one. This is when some person walks on the court, what's one rule that they need to know, that they got to remember, other than, like the 2 bouncer? What's one rule you tell that's other than standard?
Ooh, that's a good one.
Well, I'll tell you what I do is I tell just so you can think is that, and I love that, and I love this one a lot because you're able to step into the kitchen.
Yeah.
During a point or at the point wherever, but someone used to teach that you would get penalized for that, and I'm like, no,
Sure.
and people still think that, so it's
Yeah.
you just can't volley in there. So that's why I like to tell people.
Yeah. So I would say that any of the rules around the non-volley zone are the most misinterpreted.
Okay, very good.
Because,
Keep
so
going.
like when I have players that come to me and some of them have been to lessons at other places.
Yeah.
And that's not necessarily a fault of the instructor. It's just maybe they misinterpreted things or whatever. But typically, I always quiz them on that because I want them to I want to make sure that they have it, just have a good understanding. But it's I call it kind of like a game of telephone.
Yes.
I hear it all the time at the courts. Like somebody's telling one person it's this, and then they tell another person. By the time it gets back, it's like it's lava. Don't ever touch anything around there.
Exactly. That's funny.
So yeah, that's definitely a big one for sure.
Cool.
For sure.
All right. Well, so tell us about you. Where you're from, siblings, whatever, what you got going on, and all that stuff.
So like I said, I mentioned a little bit. I grew up in Lake Charles, Louisiana. Lived there till graduated high school.
Yep.
Moved to Mobile, Alabama, where that's where I went to school at University of South Alabama. So, it was, kind of a smaller campus, but we had again played a lot of soccer out that direction. It was a good international school, but that was also where I was introduced to table tennis. And
nice.
Played. I had the opportunity to learn from an Olympic silver medalist there.
What?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Was able to kind of break into that sport and play tournament level stuff. And for those that are familiar with the Plano Table Tennis Club here, I played there a little bit, and to even get on a table there, you've got to beat people.
Really?
And there's not a whole lot of like U.S. born people there. I'll just say.
So how'd you do?
I did well.
Did you?
Yeah. I mean, it's enough where I was able to kind of move up a couple tables as you beat people. But that sport translates a lot to pickleball, particularly when you're up at the non-volley zone. So that's helped me a lot with different types of shots and things like that.
Wow.
But I've been in Dallas since 2010. Love it here. Again, very multicultural community. I've gotten to meet just people from all over, and pickleball's helped with that a ton.
Yeah.
It's definitely made my network much bigger. That kind of thing. So
yeah. All right. So now we're gonna move on to the next segment, which is in the kitchen. That's where we kind of bounce funny ideas and movies and stuff off here. What I was listening to today, my favorite band or song was In Excess.
Okay.
Remember that album, In Excess, Listen Like Thieves?
Yep.
Listen like. That's what I've been jamming to, bro.
Okay.
A little In Excess.
It's a good one.
It's just
a good one.
You can say whatever you want, whatever you want. It's just what you like or what you really go to all the time. Just what do you jam to? Yeah.
So, I mean, Pearl Jam's probably my ultimate.
Of course.
I mean, look, man, I was in college in the 90s. I mean,
So was I, man.
Yeah, it's hard to break out of that. I'm sad they were in town this week.
I know, at Fort Worth, right?
Yeah, and I heard the show was like one of the best set lists they've ever played. I was like, come on, don't tell me that.
I had surgery. I couldn't go. God.
But yeah, like when I'm trying to get maybe hyped for like a match or something, I'll probably throw some Drake on or something like that. Like, I've got kids that are 17, 18, 19.
There you
so
go.
We
jam to some Drake.
Oh yeah, absolutely, all day.
Okay, the Drake man. All right, so that's cool. So favorite movie. I'll let you think on this. I watched Ferris Bueller's Day Off, which
that's a classic.
I mean, that's a go-to.
I've seen that one probably 100 times.
Oh yeah,
easy.
I was watching that, and so that's my favorite movie I was thinking about this week. What you got?
So I'm a big Star Wars fan.
Of
love
course.
That entire universe.
Yes.
Outside of that, I mean, I like a lot of different stuff, but Shawshank Redemption's always high on my list.
Oh wow.
I just think about movies that I've seen over and over. Every time I'm on TV,
they still get good.
They're still good. I'll still watch it.
And you still want the end to change. You still think that's not gonna happen. That's crap, man. This is the 948th millionth time I've seen this. Why is it not doing this?
Yep.
All right, that's cool. So, favorite podcast? I've been jamming to some T-Mac podcast on Apple. It's pretty good. It's pretty good. Tyler McGuffin.
Yep. So if we're talking pickleball, I like the Dink.
Yes.
So with Thomas Wilson and Zane Navratil, they're really good.
Yeah.
That's a good one.
I've heard one of Zane's shows right before the draft a few weeks back. He was a pretty funny guy.
Yeah, they just tell it like it is, and they're usually in the know pretty well. So that's I don't know. I just enjoy it.
Nothing wrong with that.
It's a good one.
All right, so we're gonna go with your favorite sports teams. Mine's my Chiefs, and everybody knows I was a fan before all this crap happened. So I'm a true fan. I was born there. Rangers, Mavs, Stars, all that good stuff. Who you like?
So I'm not a big well, I take it back.
It doesn't matter what
what
the hell it is, man. It's you.
Dallas.
Yeah.
Like that's but so I'm a big mention soccer again, but we always watch English Premier League. So
Yes.
Arsenal is
Good.
my son's favorite team, and my favorite. We kind of follow them the most.
Yeah.
And my son's actually in school in Spain right now.
Oh yeah,
for-
you told me
four-year
that. That's
college,
really cool.
So he's getting the opportunity to go to some different matches over there, which has been really neat. But so it's that always follow the soccer stuff.
That's totally
It's,
cool.
yeah.
All right, well, let's go to a favorite pet. We have a Labradoodle named Chief who's a nut job, and then a Havanese, small little lap dog.
yeah.
You know what those are?
Oh yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
And we have one of those named Gus. They're freaking awesome.
Yeah, so we have a little white Maltipoo. She's probably got a little bit of Havanese in her because the way she runs and hops like a little
Isn't
deer.
that crazy?
Yeah,
Isn't that
it's
crazy?
wild. Yeah,
It's like
so
they have no. It's like they have no knees or anything like that.
she's great. So we've had her for about 7 years, but she's very attached to humans. I think she's a human.
Does she?
So, oh yeah.
I've heard that those things can be pretty mean sometimes.
No, ours is really good. She just
Ours is pretty
she
chill.
has some anxiety issues when mom leaves the house, you know. So,
Ours is like a super chill where Mel sleeps, he just lays right by her, and then they just feed off each other's non-energy. All right, so this is my last question. What's something that is something funny or weird or something about you that you think nobody knows that would be kind of cool? I will tell you that I take naps, and I'm obsessed with making pallets because, like back when I played college or even high school, when you played tournaments, you got to sleep in the bed if you were in the main draw. If you didn't, you slept on the ground. College was worse, dude. So you got to learn how to do pallets. So I'm obsessed with pallets.
Yeah,
That's weird as shit, isn't it?
No, I wouldn't say so. So I would say something that maybe people don't know as much about me because I don't talk about it a ton is so growing up in Louisiana in Lake Charles, I was heavy into water skiing.
Oh wow, I can see that.
So
man.
every summer, we were out there all the time. We always had a boat. I actually learned how to ski behind like a 14-foot aluminum boat with a 20 horsepower engine on it. So I was from the time I was like 7, 8 years old.
That's crazy, dude.
Up until I was like college age. So I did a lot of I got pretty good at it. I could do slalom courses and stuff like that. So it was just something I don't get to do it as much anymore. So it's something I kind of miss a little bit in the summertime for sure.
Were you like one of those people that got jobs in the summer, like you see like in those 70s, 80s movies, jumping on the flips, waving and stuff like that?
No, I was out on the water all the time skiing. No, yeah, it's definitely a fun activity to do.
That's cool. Anyway, well, listen, we're gonna wrap up here. How can people reach you if they want a job or they want to talk about what you're doing, or they want to come out and do something with you?
Yep.
Or
So
what you're doing?
my website is overdrivepickleball.com. You can schedule lessons there. Actually, so I do facility consulting and stuff too for that.
Oh, wow.
For like people that are building new pickleball facilities.
Oh, even better.
Yep. So we have obviously a good bit of that kind of activity going on in DFW right now, which is nice. But yeah, overdrivepickleball.com. You can reach me there and again schedule lessons and that sort of thing.
Sweet.
Yep.
I can be reached at Curtis CURTIS &% at ReeseRacketSports.com, ReeseRacketsports.com. I messed that up, didn't I? All right, man. What else you got real quick before we cut out of here?
So last thing I would just say is I'm co-instructing some pickleball tours in Spain. Doing one. I'm leaving here in 2 or 3 weeks to go head over there for a couple weeks to do that.
He's going for a party, whatever, man.
No, man.
I know. He's not really going to do that.